Hey guys, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. We have a special guest. I'm so excited. Her name is Chanel, and she is from Anunna Healing. She is amazing. You're going to love her. Um, Hoping that I got a few mods in here. Are you two the only ones in here just yet? Let's see. In here just yet? So that you have, let's see. Okay, all right. So we have some mods over here. We got Stephanie London and we've got Aviator. These
Hi
guys.
guys.
Oh, and Conspiracy Against Transparency and Just Another Tater Tot. These guys can help you with anything, with links that you may want. If you have any questions, you need to get our attention, and we're not noticing you in the feed, please let one of them know, and they will get our attention. We will have time for a few questions. So I guess we're going to go ahead and get started. So, is that the name of that? Is that from like the Anunnaki? I just watched something last night, and it was really interesting. And I heard that name, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be where she got that from.
Absolutely. So Anunna is the plural word for the Anunnaki gods from the ancient Sumerian culture. I'm a massive fan on history, especially prehistory, so it just seemed to fit, and I think it hopefully works really well.
I love it. I think it's great. And it's such a pretty name too. Such a pretty name. So you are a hypnotherapist, correct?
I am.
And where is your clinic or your business at?
So it's all online now. Since COVID hit, I've just done everything online. Before that, I was going to people's houses, traveling around and doing it in the privacy of their own homes. So now everything's moved on to Skype and Discord. So I can help anyone all over the world.
That is too cool. Now, for the people that you help at home, how is it going with them? Is it still working good for them over the internet, or is it like in person better for them?
I've had no issues over the internet. People are still having quite powerful and profound experiences. So as far as I'm aware, nothing has actually changed. Only a couple of issues with like internet connections disrupting, but you just sort of work around those issues anyway.
Yes, I know the feeling. We have horrible internet here. Horrible. So what is your channel mainly about?
So I started my channel a couple of years ago just to sort of like introduce myself and how hypnotherapy has helped me, but it wasn't really going well. I didn't have, for the longest time I had like 28 subscribers, and then I started doing erotic hypnosis, so audio tracks that are erotic but also have an underlying therapy part to it. And that's just
one was so amazing. Oh my goodness, I love that. I watched it yesterday and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So perfect. You did a lovely job on it.
Oh, thank you. Well, you need it in these kind of times, don't you? So I'm happy to create these things.
So what made you decide to go with the erotic videos?
I think, well, I like to do a lot of reading about hypnosis in the mind and all that kind of stuff anyway. So I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I'm pretty sure I must have read the phrase erotic hypnosis somewhere. And so I must have then done a bit of research, gone onto YouTube to see what it's all about. And there's such a vast amount of different material under the umbrella of erotic hypnosis. And no one seemed to be doing what I would have called my style, so I decided to give it a go. My first one was erotic hypnosis, that's what it was called, and I wrote it in a way where anybody could enjoy it and see how that went. that was quite successful. And then I wrote Your Divine Nymph, which was even more erotic, and
that was amazing. I had to listen to it twice.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, and it just took off from there, and I'm still quite amazed at how fast things have grown and how well received they've been as well.
Yeah, you have some excellent viewers. The commenters, I haven't seen anything nasty written or intrusive or rude or disrespectful at all. Everybody's been so great to that kind of new genre, I guess. I mean, there are a few channels, out there that are kind of but like you said, they're not exactly comfortable.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get caught listening to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's some quite interesting erotic hypnosis audio tracks that seem to be quite the femdom stuff, so quite the aggressive slave, you lick the mud off my boots kind of style, and they didn't even seem to have an induction or a long enough induction. So when I was researching these kind of things and seeing these really short tracks, I couldn't understand how effective they could be being so short. So I wanted to show people this is what a full length audio track is, and this is how powerful of an experience you can have through it. And it's really sex positive, equal, men and women can enjoy each other and enjoy whoever they want, and it's not a dominating, it's more of a mutual understanding, shall we say.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely coming from a survivor of sexual abuse,
right,
that listening to those was confidence building, and was like I said, it was not uncomfortable. I didn't feel awkward at any point in time, which is kind of common with a history like mine. And I don't know, I got a lot out of it personally, and I felt better, and I felt more in touch with my femininity, in the days following, and was more comfortable actually talking with my partner about things.
Oh, I'm so happy it's had that effect on you, Noli, and that's one of the positive things about the free content on YouTube, is that the things I want to create that safe environment where you can explore sexuality and the pleasures that you can have from sex in a secure and comfortable and safe environment where you are in control and you can go at your pace and enjoy things how you want to enjoy it.
I love that. I try to engage my whoever's viewing when they're in the live chat just a little bit. So if I'm looking down a little bit, I'm just trying to respond to somebody.
Not a problem.
Okay. So somebody made a great point up here and said that they're not a fan of the trashy femdom stuff. Nobody likes to be degraded, or I guess lots of people like to be degraded, but it can be unhealthy, and it can be quite risky and dangerous for anybody to get into, and it affects the psyche on a deep level, in my opinion. Where you can carry it with you throughout your workday and your normal life with the boys or with the girls, and it can change who you are by being, either abusive or being abused, and even in a play manner in the bedroom. So I like to dying to live. I'm a big fan of dying to live. Sorry.
No problem.
So it's kind of I don't know, important for me anyway to always feel comfortable from the beginning to end when it comes to any sexual encounter, or even just talking about sex with my viewers. We had a sex talk about a month and a half ago, and it was just almost clinical level. At least for my end of it. I don't know about them. They could have been gross enough. But they were real questions, and I was giving them real honest answers, and it was really helpful. So do you have your video that you wanted to share? Or do you want me to pull it up?
Can you pull that for me, please?
I sure can.
Yeah.
It'll take me just a moment. If you click over here on the right, it'll say comments and then like banner and all that good stuff. There's a private chat and then there's a.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you click on the other
Yeah.
one, you can see most of what is being said over there,
Oh
but
yeah.
not all of them make it through. If you want to engage while I pull this up, feel free. I'm sure that you have plenty of your people over there.
Let's see. So, hi everybody. Thanks for joining us and thanks for coming to listen to me. I really appreciate it. I hope it's informative and helps you understand my content a bit more, and that it's not like sleazy or trashy or anything like that. It is actually for therapeutic reasons, and the tools in there you can use for your own benefit and how you want to use them and see the effects you want. So I really encourage you to take control and use the tools while you've got them.
So hey, I am seeing. I didn't notice this one, but you have your Divine Nymph Part 2 up.
Yes.
Would you want to share that one with us? A little bit of that one? Do you have like a?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. From anywhere from after like within the first 10 minutes, the induction part's quite nice. So it's not too specific or explicit at that point, I don't think.
Oh, my channel is actually made just for adults. I have it blocked to children, so you know we're safe. We can drop an F-bomb if we need to. And
I'll go for it then.
I need to unmute this. See, you want to pause? Shush. Okay, so this will just take me a moment, and we'll let it play. What do you say? Maybe that go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, a couple of minutes that should be fine. Let people get a feel.
Anybody from my end of things, my viewers or my friends, you're my friends. It's just all there is to it. You're gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. If you haven't heard any of these, this is going to be a treat for you, and I am really, really excited to share it with you because this lady is amazing. She really is. So sit back and enjoy this beautiful voice of hers, and I hope you guys like this.
My audience, that's how I am evolving and hopefully getting better. So this audio track should be even more pleasurable for you. You should be able to achieve an even deeper level of hypnosis, especially because of how long it is. So you imagine spending an hour and a half plus in hypnosis, you're going to go very, very deep. So just bear that in mind. The whole point of this audio track is for fun, to let your imagination run wild. So just lay back, relax, and just take the opportunity to make any changes you wish to your sex life, your body, your cock. Or just literally have fun and enjoy a really, really intense orgasm at the end. I hope you can last that long with me. So it's not necessarily a hands-free orgasm audio track either. If you have the urge to use your hands or use some other stimulation to get you there, please feel free. Don't feel no pressure. Don't have any preconceptions other than you're just about to have a really, really fun time. And then let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. I'm now also on Patreon too, so please find me at Anunna Healing there. It's very good if you wish to have, let's say, visual stimulation to go with these audio tracks. And there's also a fantastic Discord chat as well, where myself and my fantastic supporters hang out, chat, get to know each other. We have some very, very deep conversations as well. So please head over there and join us. You are more than welcome. I look forward to interacting with you more, and allow this hypnotic voice to just take you now, feeling no discomforts, only pleasurable sensations with me, remember. You are so excited to hear my voice again. And here it is, taking hold of you, settling in comfortably now. Gentle breathing. You realize that your body relaxes automatically in all kinds of unusual ways as soon as it hears this voice. You may in fact realize now that as you think about that, your breathing shifts into a more comfortable rhythm, easily and naturally, because we both know sooner or later you'll go into a very deep hypnotic trance. Just like how we both know sooner or later you'll begin to feel the comfort of relaxation. My hypnotic voice captivates you, doesn't it? My powerful hypnotic voice puts you under my spell. You need this voice. You crave this voice. Already noticing how my voice is taking hold of you, isn't it? Tranquility is within reach. Hearing my voice will always bring you feelings of peace and tranquility. My voice will always make you feel stimulated and aroused. You know your time with me only brings pleasurable sensations, allowing all discomforts to leave you. Looking at the screen, looking at the images now, staring at the screen, listening to my voice, so eager to follow my instructions, so eager to allow my suggestions to take over you and have such a powerful effect on you. You know your time with me is only pleasurable. Only pleasurable sensations are allowed now. Each time you listen to me, my voice takes you over quicker and more powerfully. Voice taking you deeper now, knowing that if an emergency occurs during your time with me, you will always be able to wake instantly and deal with the situation in a calm and effective manner. So relax that little bit more, knowing all is well. No distractions. So eager to be reunited with your nymph again. She's waiting for you. Keep looking at the screen, This is a fractal, a very intense and beautiful fractal. This will open up your mind to more intense experiences than you have had before. Opening up your mind to me and responding to me, which is why you're here, isn't it? To be guided on an erotic journey, hoping I say words like cock, orgasm, pussy. So keep staring at this fractal. Relax that little bit more now. That's it. Feeling tension releasing from you. When I tell you to close your eyes in a moment, every fiber of your being will relax into a very pleasant, hypnotic state where we can begin our journey together. So go ahead now and close your eyes. Everything relaxes just as I said it would. There you go. I want you to allow your mind to get a sense, an image, a feeling that you are walking down a long, familiar passageway. The passageway of your mind, where all sorts of wonderful and pleasurable things are kept. Walk down your passageway now. Notice there are lots of different doors for lots of different and exquisite pleasures to experience. The ones which have my Anunna healing logo on are the ones in your mind linked to me. Notice how many there are at the moment. Feeling excited at how many there will be in the future too. I'm going to guide you through a particular door now. The door to your nymph. The provider to your ultimate pleasurable experiences. She has her own door, doesn't she? With my logo in pride of place. So you will always know who brought the two of you together. Don't step through this door yet. I will tell you when the time is right. Whenever you step through this door into her world, you are there for her pleasure as much as she is there for yours. In a moment, I will tell you to go through the door. When you go through this door, you will go 10 times deeper than you are now into a blissful relaxation. 10 times deeper into a hypnotic experience here with me. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And when I say 1, you will step through that door and into the world of your nymph, going 10 times deeper than you are now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step through the door now. Everything goes black. Feel a gentle sense of falling now, like Alice in Wonderland, falling deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole into the world of your nymph.
Wow.
I hope you guys liked it.
I'm sure they did. Look, oh, we're getting home. So, I have some other questions for you. Let me get my notes over here. I'm not the best interviewer. You have to forgive me. My boss is the one who's good at this.
You've got more experience than me, Noelle, so I'm in your very capable hands.
Oh, thank you. So, there's been like a lot of controversy, and a lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, it's just a trick," or it's people playing along, or whatever when it comes to hypnotherapy. Do you have anything that you want to like say to people who doubt it?
Of course. So basically, you do see a lot of false information through films which are made up, and you do get a false sense when you're watching stage hypnosis. And stage hypnosis is very valid, and that can have therapeutic effects too. What people need to understand with hypnosis is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So you only go into the trance-like state if you allow yourself to. So when you're seeing people on stage that are singing like Elvis Presley, thinking they're a chicken, they are choosing to allow themselves to experience that reality. So you are always in control. You choose what you want to experience, and you choose subconsciously what suggestions you want to accept or reject. And there is good and bad in hypnotherapy and hypnosis, but there is in absolutely everything. So you do get your sleazy hypnotists, but they are very rare and far and few between. It's just that they tend to get a lot more press than the people that are just out to help other people, such as myself.
So there's been a lot of buzz. If you've got your YouTube side picked up, if you want to mute that side so that there's no feedback, and then that way you can keep up with the chat and actually talk about it.
Yeah.
So I've done some reading, and I've watched a handful of videos, and there's a lot of talk about healing, self-healing, using hypnotherapy. Is that also something that you offer your clients?
Yeah, so I do offer the standard range, everything basically. Hypnotherapy, because you're connecting and you're communicating directly with the subconscious, and the subconscious mind is the place that operates your body. All your physical and mental thoughts, feelings, behaviours, it's all run through your subconscious. So when you're connecting to the subconscious and you want to do healing, it's very powerful because you're getting instant results as well, very quick and powerful results. So you can, in theory, do anything if hypnosis is right for you.
Now, you have a personal story as far as healing yourself through this process. Would you share a little bit of that with us?
Yeah, so childhood was traumatic, as a lot of people's were. So as I grew up, I had some quite like PTSD behaviours, and I was very angry and aggressive and very narrow-minded. I was always right, everyone else was wrong. It was like I was living in a fight or flight state constantly, but I didn't know, because if you don't know, you don't know. And then as I came across hypnotherapy and I did a 10-month diploma in it, we got to practice on each other and use those skills on yourself. So I took that opportunity with both hands, and I really went to town on healing myself. So I did inner child workshops. I did a full weekend of that when I was learning with my school, my hypnotherapy school, and it is so profound, the healing that I have had over the last 3 years, physically and emotionally. So emotionally, I am very happy, and I see what happened to me in the past differently now. I accept it, and without what happened, I wouldn't be here today. And also physically, I used to have a lot of health issues. So my past traumas created fibromyalgia in my body. My fibromyalgia symptoms would be severe muscle cramps. Anywhere in my body. They could happen in my tongue, my neck, my chest, arms, legs, ribs, feet, calves, everywhere I could get them. I'd feel like a 90-year-old woman most mornings, and my muscles and my joints would be so stiff and painful. I'd be tired. I had the brain fog. I used to suffer with migraines all the time. You name it, I had it, or one of those people. So when I was being educated on how the mind works and the mind-body connection, and I was healing these traumas, I was also working on my diet, and I am half the person I was when I started. And along with that, I have cured myself of fibromyalgia. So I was taking that awful medication. They tried me on gabapentin and pregabalin first, and it's just awful. The side effects was just as bad as actually having fibromyalgia. So when I cured myself, and I swear on anybody's life, I haven't taken a painkiller in over 3 years. I haven't even taken a cold and flu tablet, a paracetamol, an antibiotic. I've had nothing since I have changed my diet. I listened to my body and working with my subconscious to create what I am today. And I am very genuinely proud of what I have achieved in these last 3 years.
You really should be. I'm deeply impressed.
And with it, I hope that other people take the opportunity to use those tools as well.
Okay.
And that...
Sorry, I had a, yeah, that's our internet, my awesome internet, it just bleeped out on me.
Well, I was just saying, because I've had such a powerful effect with hypnosis and how it has changed my life, that's why I'm so passionate about giving people those exact same tools that I've used, because I was such a stubborn, angry, total different person. And by working with my own mind and body, using these tools I give you guys, you can have such a powerful change as well. So that's why I'm like, yes, come on guys, if you're suffering, you can actually be free from that suffering. You don't have to carry that with you all your life. Let it go.
Yes. That's something that I do struggle with. I try to be a little bit better every day. Being involved with the people that I'm involved with here online on YouTube, actually, and dealing with some people that have extremely different views.
Yeah,
it can be really frustrating because you don't feel heard, but they're frustrated too because they don't feel heard. And I've really learned to kind of try and see things from a different perspective. And by doing that, I found that others are doing the same, and I've made some really great connections with people that I don't think I ever would have spoken to before. And I think that has a lot to do with working on myself and trying to constantly tell myself during meditation that I am that better person that I want to be. I am that person,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be that person for the rest of my life, a little bit better every day, and it's helped. And I know that meditation and hypnotherapy are right next to each other, like parallel.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're the same, basically, because meditation is actually self-hypnosis. They just call it two different things. So well done for taking control and empowering yourself.
well, if it weren't for videos like yours and a few books that I actually got for my partner, but decided to kind of peek through them, and I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. It's really opened my mind to a different avenue of thinking and just different processes of just living.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes, I starting to feel that. It's been like 4 years, almost 4 years since I've been involved in this online community here on YouTube, and I'm just now kind of starting to like post videos or do live feeds or whatever, mainly because there's not a lot of help that I can offer anybody that's been typical before COVID. Before COVID, I would help what we call auditors and cop watchers and activists. When they get into a hairy situation, I would be there in the feed to contact their family members if they're getting arrested. Make sure that everybody in the feed has the proper phone numbers and dialogue to use when they call the police station or when they call the courthouse or when they call wherever. Excuse me, my throat, I'm losing my voice. But it can be really high stress, and then to go from that to like almost nothing. This is also kind of helped me deal with living without that stress, that extra stress. We still have the stresses, but it's not nearly as bad. And I think the meditation has helped me tremendously. So you, let's see, history of hypnosis. Could you go into that a little bit? I don't know how far back exactly hypnosis goes or how long it's been used, or even where it originated from.
So hypnosis has actually been around for thousands of years. Right, even so ancient Greeks had dream temples where you would go and experience hypnosis as a way to communicate with the gods and work through your issues. So very much like a modern day hypnotherapist, the people that would work in the temple would prepare you, and they would watch over you while you went on your profound dream adventure. So we're talking thousands of years, and even right back to prehistory as well, people were using the meditation, the self-hypnosis kind of state to go into to contact the gods and work through their own issues. And then as it's like modern time, well, not modern times, but for me, because I love history. So when modern society seemed to come around and religion seemed to take hold a bit more, you were then just relying on God. So prayer was again a way of self-hypnosis, basically going into that trance-like state to communicate with your God, your deity. And again, that would work to a degree, but it's relying on a deity to help you out rather than the modern hypnosis of here's the tools, you do it yourself kind of thing. For me, and then you have people like, so Anton Mesmer, he was a sort of hypnotist. He was into mesmerism, but he used magnets. He said that we had a magnetic field, animal magnetism, and using magnets and trance-like things would put them into that altered state, and he would work with them. He's sort of tainted because there is rumours he used that to take advantage of women and sleep with women and things like that. But from that, people evolved it and brought it into what it is today. And one of my biggest idols is a hypnotherapist called Milton Erickson. He was born early 20th century, so like 1900 something. I'm no good with dates, but he had polio as a child and they thought he was going to die. So one night when he was dying, he asked his mum to move a dresser with a mirror on so he could watch the sunrise for the last time. And as far as he was concerned, he did, but he survived the night. He woke up the next day and he's told this to his mother, and she was like, you cannot see the sunrise from that view. So what he realised he had done is he'd put himself into self-hypnosis to experience this sunrise very vividly, and that's sort of what got him through the polio. And he was paralysed, but he taught himself to walk again. And he's just an incredible man. He really understood the psyche of people. He just seemed to naturally put you into trance. He did like the handshake induction, and you wouldn't even know what was going on. He was that smooth and slick and gave fantastic advice to people and genuinely helped and understood. And he was wheelchair bound by the time he was dying, but that didn't stop him. He was still practicing, still helping people and showing an example of just because you are poorly or you're incapacitated doesn't mean to say you can't fulfill your life and do those things that you want to do.
That is amazing. And what was his name again?
Milton Erickson. I highly recommend people look into him just to see what a remarkable individual he was and what he achieved in his life.
Yeah, and especially having polio that far back, it's, I mean, that was a death sentence.
Yeah.
That was 100% death sentence. There was no vaccine at that point. My mother had polio when she was a child, and she was able to walk eventually, but they told her, you'll never walk again. And she was like, one bit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the power of the mind. I don't think anyone should tell you what you can and can't do. Just see what you're capable of. What is your mind and body capable of, not what someone's going to tell you it is.
I agree wholeheartedly. So, let's see. I know somebody had a question over here. Why don't we hit up some questions and then, where are we at? I know which one I'm hitting. Joy, you had a question, or you said something you didn't know what something was. Where's it at? I should have left it up there. Oh, he had wondered how post-suggestion works.
Right, so yeah, post-hypnotic suggestions are awesome. So while they're in trance, you can say things like erotic suggestion would be, so anytime I say the word cock to you in the future, you will feel instantly aroused. So once that's in place, while they're in the waking state, days, weeks, months, years down the line, if I were to say the word cock to them, they would just automatically feel instantly aroused, because you're implanting it into the subconscious, and the subconscious is in control 96 to 98% of the time. So whatever it wants you to do or react, it's going to do or react.
Oh, Stephanie had a good question. Here we go. Did you have an interest in hypnotherapy before attending the program, or feel a natural talent for it beforehand?
I was interested in past life regression, obviously. I'd always wanted to try that, but I wasn't aware sort of the power of hypnotherapy or how in depth it were until I come across a really random like free weekend taster session for hypnosis. Come and try it. And then I attended that. I thought, why not? And I absolutely fell in love with it. It just clicked. All these light bulbs kept switching on in my mind, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I just had to do it. Then 10 months down the line, I was a completely different person.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I wish we could, like, have a little window into the past just to see that person. I know what those
Yeah.
kind of transformations can look like, and it really is like looking at a different person, I think.
It is, and it is hard, and it does hurt, and there are lots of tears, but that is the point of it, because if you don't go through that suffering, how are you supposed to enjoy and appreciate when you do feel different? Then that hard work that you go through healing and letting it out and repairing yourself, and that empowerment and that positivity and that drive you've then got in yourself, you're capable of anything. So it's worth it for the end result.
Lovely, I love it. So what, if anything, can we expect from you in the future, as far as your channel, or you got anything else going on?
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing. I had a comment on a video a while back that was asking for just more intimate moments like cuddling and holding. And I've been doing a couple of experiments with my clients on that, and they've really taken to it. And I think that's another part that is missing for everybody, is just not even necessarily the sex element, just that really nice feeling it is to be held in someone's arms, or for you to hold someone in your arms, feeling their warmth, that comfort, that tranquility. So I'm going to be working on that. I'm also going to be doing a case study on the amazing benefits of listening to these kind of audio tracks. I'm working with a fantastic gentleman at the moment over in the States who has had such profound and amazing results. And I don't want to say too much because I want you all to watch the case study and just see what is possible just by listening to my audio track. So I haven't even done any private sessions with this person yet. So I'm really, really excited with that. And I will be doing more erotic side of things. People ask me all the time, like, when's the next one coming out? But I write everything from scratch, so it does take me a while, and if inspiration doesn't hit, inspiration doesn't hit. So you'll have to bear with me, guys, if you want some more erotic things. But if inspiration does hit, I will definitely get those out to you. So there's a bit of a mixed bag going on for the future as well.
Well, I love it. I think that that's going to keep us on our toes, definitely with your channel. So Stephanie says you should include some ASMR. You have the voice for it, she says.
Yeah, I did a little experiment with that. I think that is on my YouTube channel, to see what that kind of thing was like. So that is on the cards. I want to do a bit more research into it first, because I only like to do things when I have researched it. So it's respectful for the people that do really enjoy ASMR, so they can have a really fun time. So leave that with me, Stephanie.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for popping by, and I would love to have you come back again, and I'm sure that my viewers would love to have you back again. So
I'd love to join you. I really enjoyed it, Noelle. Thank you for taking me through my first ever live interview. So I really appreciate it.
Well,
And thank you. Go on. And I was just. I was just going to say thank you to everyone for coming and listening to me ramble on, and thank you for your continued support. It's amazing, and I'm still in shock, so I am genuinely so grateful to you guys. Without you guys enjoying it, I wouldn't have anything to go on. So I am happy to keep creating content for you guys, as long as you're happy to keep receiving it.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. So I will, guys, I will be right back. Okay. If you want to hit the, oh, actually here, I got it. There we go. If you can hear me, there is a private chat over there, and there's comments. If you want to hit that private chat again, I left you a message there. I just invited you to stay for the after party, because I'm gonna stick around and do my normal like tired, annoying stuff that I do to my friends while I'm here.
Here, as long as you need me to. So.
Oh, well, it is your call. This could damage your ears. Just warning you.
Not a problem. I'm happy to enjoy your experience.
Well, I typically will like play a couple of songs really badly on the keyboard, and then we'll talk about what's going on in our community. So we have a lot of tension over here right now. I need to plug in too. We have a lot of tension over here right now between the police and not just activists, but the general public. There's been a lot of scary shit happening here. I don't know what's happening on your neck of the woods as far as that goes. I know that our protests and our insane amount of murders by police, and that is what they are, is murders, had spread to other countries, and there's been protests all over the world when it comes to the deaths, the reckless, disgusting, foul deaths of these amazing people, who were Breonna Taylor. She was an EMS, EMT, excuse me. She worked for a fire department, and it's frustrating because she's gone, and she's being slandered in the news, and it seems like whenever they happen to murder somebody, they're going to bring their past into it and say, well, this is why. Joe Black says I make up some great lyrics. So when I mess up when I'm playing, I swear a lot. I do not sing. I don't want to make any. I will make somebody go deaf if I do that. But yeah. So thank you, Joe. I love you. But has in your area, has there been any high tensions when it comes to police relations and the public?
Yes, unfortunately. I think it is the same all over the world. We have good police, and we have people that probably join the police force who are in it for the pain. But I think it's a shame what happens. It's heartbreaking. It genuinely is heartbreaking when these things happen. And
so, do police, where you're at, do they all carry guns or just some of them?
No, it's very rare they have special armed police officers for that. Our normal police have batons, and I think only some of them carry tasers. Oh, and pepper spray and things like that, but no guns.
Really, only some of them carry tasers?
Yeah.
I wish it was like that here. But then again, we have guns too,
Yeah. I think it's a bit different over in America, isn't it? From what I've seen, the police seem to get called over any little matter, and they're quite happy to arrest people quite quickly, whereas over here we tend to sort things out ourselves. So if you don't really call the police unless it's a major thing. So if it's just two people fighting, you just sort of let them get on with it, kind of thing. 'Cause we're British, that's what we do. So yeah, we don't seem to have the police called as often as you guys seem to, but I might be wrong. It might just be what I've seen on TV.
No, it really is like that here. People, like, I don't get the race thing. It does not make sense to me, and it really, really pisses me off. It just makes me want to hang my head when I see, like, that woman in New York a while back with that dog. She had it off the leash, and this man just asked her to, leash her dog, and she lost her freaking mind and called the police, and even told them before she dialed 911 that she was going to tell them that she was her life was in danger, or she was being threatened by a black man. And I just hung my head, and I'm just like, stop it, you're making us all look bad.
Exactly.
But I don't. It doesn't make sense to me, like how anybody could get that like extra, just that freaking extra about anything. Let alone someone asking you to put your dog on a leash. You can get someone
Yeah.
killed if you call the cops here in America, and it happens every day. Just
Yeah.
by gunfire, just by a bullet from a cop's gun. We are sitting at, I think, over 800 so far this year that are dead. That's not including the ones that were beat to death, the ones that were starved to death, the ones that were we had we've had, I think, 7 or 8 people be killed from the effects of dehydration in a jail cell, being denied food and water.
That is so cruel.
And nothing, no one's held accountable. Nothing ever happens to these police, and people are sick of it. And yeah, when protesters go out and they get hit with things like, gas, or getting shot at with rubber bullets, or being beaten with batons, yeah, they're going to riot. Yeah, they're going to burn some shit down. And I don't blame them. In my opinion, riots and the burning of cities and looting, that is the oppressed finally being heard.
Yeah. And that's what it all comes down to, is all over the world this corruption. And when you don't listen to the people, like, we pay our tax, we pay into the system, and when you're not listening to us and all you want to do is line your own pockets, and you take, and life gets harder and harder and harder, and we're the ones at the bottom of the pyramid that have to work hard every day of our lives to pay our bills, to keep a roof over our head. And if we're lucky enough, we may get to retire and enjoy our retirement for a few years, whereas the people higher up the pyramid will never experience that. They do not know how society actually operates on our level. And so they create these stupid, ridiculous rules and regulations, and they cover things up because they really don't care, because they have no clue on how we operate, how we actually survive as a species, us people at the bottom of the pyramid. It's terrible.
Literally at the bottom of the pyramid. And in my opinion, the hands that lift someone up, those are the hands that you praise and that you thank. And it seems like, especially here with our government, I'm not sure about yours, but our government, it's in my opinion the most corrupt, disgusting. Like, left wing, right wing, it doesn't matter. It belongs to the same chicken, and you're just gonna, you're damned no matter who you vote for, because they've got it stacked. And even well-intended people, when they first get into politics, with the best of intentions, they will sell out their morals and values one at a time to get something that they want for their side or for their community or whatever. And eventually they have no morals and values left. And they are just as corrupt and as wicked as Donald Trump or Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Which right now we're being forced to choose between a racist rapist and a racist rapist. Yeah. And that is unfair to the American people to force that kind of a decision on us.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, our system is a lot older than your system, and so ours in a way is worse, because our politicians and our leaders are all from privately educated public schools where their mum and dads are lords and ladies. They are part of the elite. So the elite have been running our country, and it's been incestuous. So it's inherited. It's not fairly voted in for how the public think it is. It's not. And all our politicians are just the same as all yours. They're all the same. As long as they're benefiting monetary wise, that's all that matters to them. They don't care. And you can't be a leader and not care, because this is where it ends up, as this toxic, awful environment where people would rather kill themselves than live in this society. That's where we're at now. It's awful.
I used to say, if I could just make my own country somewhere and have all my kind of people, join me. But I think we should find an island somewhere and take every politician, every royal, every, billionaire. I was going to say millionaire, but that's, billionaire and up. And stick them all there and leave them and just drop them off a box of food every once in a while, you know.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't deserve that because they'd happily let us starve.
I know, right? Our president wants to, instead of using food assistance, where a person can go and like shop for their own groceries for their family if they're low income, with, through aid through the state, he wants to just ship people boxes to their homes of food, and the food that he wants to send is not food.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that he wants to stick in those boxes, I think that's what I would want put in their boxes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree with you.
They are just, the man is insane. He is absolutely insane. And the eviction rate that's going on right now, so like our there's supposedly like a stay on rent and evictions, to where, you know, if you can pay your rent, you better pay it, because you're going to end up owing for all the months that you haven't paid it when this is all over. I don't see how that's going to happen. People aren't working. They're trying to take care of their families, and now they've got, you know, like in-home school to contend with, which has got to be stressful. Plus, you know, if you are lucky enough to still be working,
Yeah.
you're going to work every day, and you're possibly bringing home a death sentence to your family. And
Yeah.
all for what? You know, to possibly lose your home, or you know, there's no daycares open, so a lot of people, even if they can work or are supposed to work because they're essential workers, they may not be able to because they have no daycare.
Yeah, and this is what it all comes down to. Of these politicians and these people that are bringing in guidelines and rules, they have no idea on how we all work. So they bring out these ridiculous things when they don't actually know that it's the opposite of how we function. So it's no wonder the whole world, well, us Western countries are in this ridiculous situation now, because they have no clue. I would love our Prime Minister to actually walk our streets and do a job and see what it's like to go out and get your food shop, pay your bills, try and find a job and all these things, because they don't know, and they're bringing in all these stupid things, these absolutely stupid, ridiculous guidelines, and the general public will get frustrated and angry and then not follow the guidelines, any of them, because they just think, oh well, nothing makes sense, I'll just do what I want, and all because they ain't got a clue.
Our government's lied to us for so many decades now that, like, what, even if they were telling us the truth, or they were going to follow those guidelines as well, we're not going to believe them. I don't believe anything that our government has to say. I mean, I still listen because I want to know what they're lying about. I want to hear their lies. That's just ridiculous.
So there is the debate over there where she's at over whether or not it's real or a hoax too.
Oh, are you guys struggling with whether or not it's COVID is real or if it's a hoax?
Yeah, and again, because our government have not told us an ounce of truth from the start, and then they did a press conference, I think a couple of months ago, where they stood there on TV on the news and went, yeah, we got the COVID deaths wrong, we were counting people that didn't actually die of COVID. See you like that.
So, do you know any doctors who would take someone who died in a car accident and write that they died of COVID? I don't know a single doctor who would do that. Not one.
Yeah, well, I don't know any doctors personally that would do that, but it must have been happening somewhere. If the doctors who were writing the death certificates were not putting COVID as the reason, then at some point somebody has corrupted the data then to had all these extra deaths that was nothing to do with COVID. So then you're sat at home thinking, hang on a minute, I'm losing my home, I have lost my job, I have got all my freedoms taken away because you tell me that all these tens of thousands of people had died when they actually didn't. That was like a normal death rate. So then you have to think, well, no wonder people are angry and want to protest and everything, because they don't know what's true. If people actually was just proving that these things were true, I'm sure people would listen to it more.
Yeah. The lies are astronomical, that is for certain. I know here in my small little area now, I live in an area that's it's so podunk. It's so like, I'm surprised that there aren't horse and carts going down the road instead of cars. That's how podunk this area is. But I personally know 6 people who died at the beginning of this, at least our beginning of it, because a lot of us don't watch normal news or normal cable TV. I sworn it off years ago, and so I get all my news from word of mouth, from friends who live overseas, and from friends that are just across. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, Lee Camp and Taya, my boss Taya. She does police accountability report on the Real News Network here on YouTube. But that's where we get most of our news from, and they weren't even really talking about it much. And when they did, back before, I don't know, February, March-ish, I heard about it, but like could never remember the name of what it was, and thought, well, it's not going to get here. And there was some guy down in Florida who was saying, oh, well, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's almost here, it's almost here. And I'm thinking, man, conspiracy theorists, whatever. And all of a sudden people start dying, and I'm in Washington State, which is where Seattle is, and that was the biggest hit area to begin with here in the US was Seattle. And we lost so many people so quickly that I don't know 6 people who have died from pneumonia and the flu combined throughout my whole life. But within the first 3-4 months of this, 6 people I knew were gone, just gone. And there's nothing, like, we couldn't go to their funerals. I'm not even sure if everybody got buried right away or not.
Yeah.
Or cremated, or I don't even know how any of that went. I mean, it was pretty, I know that my nurse friends and doctors I know, they were scared. They were definitely scared. But tried to remain hopeful. I know that as far as schools go, I'm not willing to allow our school district here to risk my daughter's life. If they won't meet together in the same room for their school board meetings, my daughter's not going to school until you're willing to meet in a room together for a board meeting. Once you're willing to do that, then I will send my daughter to the germ factory. That's what I call the schools, is the germ factory. I mean, that's what they are. They are little germ factories. All children are. But yeah, I'm just not willing to go with it. They were trying to open the schools here just before school started, and I went on Facebook and then I loudly protested to it. And within a week, there was another letter that went out stating that they weren't going to open the doors. And I was like, good, because I would have been parking my car right there in the doors. Not worth it. Whether it is as dangerous as it we're being told, or it's actually just a Newton of our migration, our imagination. And either way, I will park my car in them doorways, and I will not let nobody in. Oh, so Doy is wanting me to ask about hypnosis and his hands. So he broke both of his hands. They got like smashed or crushed or whatever. Like, and it's been a long time ago. And I'm thinking he's wanting to know, is it with the function of your hands, the ability to use them, or is it like pain or what, dude? And I have been working on your song, by the way. I'm going to try it here in a few minutes. It'll take him about 20 seconds to respond. There's like a 20-second delay, 30-second delay, something like that.
And I suppose with the nature of something like this and the nature of how media is nowadays, this is the first, because this isn't new. Let's be perfectly honest, this pandemic is not a new thing.
Oh no, it's a form of SARS, correct?
It's all throughout history, we've had pandemics. I mean, look at the Black Death in Europe, killed 1 in 3 people. And yet here we are a few hundred years later with a population of nearly 8 billion. So it's not new, and that's another thing why I don't understand why it's so difficult to sort out, because it's not like we've never ever come across this situation before. So history repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun, and we don't seem to be learning from our mistakes, which is a really dangerous thing for a human being to not be able to evolve past from, if that makes sense.
No, I agree 100%. Like, yeah, I agree 100%. And it's kind of embarrassing on like a human species level. Like, I don't want my dog to know this. Yeah, cover her ears when we speak of it, because holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so tendons, the tendons are tore in both of his hands, and he wants to know if hypnosis can help him.
Yeah, I'm guessing you would be able to have some benefits with that. So what you could do is, under hypnosis, be visualizing the tendons healing and knitting together, or creating some new connections. That's what you might have to do, is work with your hands and your subconscious to create new mind-body connections to be able to use your hands in the way you want to. There's quite a few different ways you could have a look at it, actually. So if you want to know more, you could always email me at anunnahealing@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to walk you through a few things you could try.
There you go. I just put your email up in the feed so that you can have it. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt Joy's song. So if you want to mute your mic, that way there's no feedback. And if you want to mute the sound too, I don't blame you.
No, I want to listen.
All right, so I'm going to get that started here. There we go. Okay, so I think I've gone through this maybe 3 times, this song. So I don't know, bear with me, I guess. There you go, Joy. Oh my goodness.
Well done, I like that.
Thank you. I had surgery a few years ago, and it was supposed to not only just save like my leg from being cut off, but to save my life and to make it easier for me to get around. And instead, the damage that was done was so bad that they had to do far more surgery than they anticipated. And the nerve damage and stuff that from the surgery itself, because before surgery I could walk, it just wasn't very well, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. Post surgery, I've been using a wheelchair outside of my home for 4 years now, and I have a hard time dealing with that. As far as ADA goes, there's supposed to be rules and laws in public places where if someone's in a wheelchair, they should be able to access every area of your business or every area of your court or of your county seat or your mayor's office or whatever. Well, even though there's those rules and those laws that have been in place since the 70s, and then they revamped them in the 90s, well, not every place is accessible to me, and it just gets to be too embarrassing and too frustrating, and it feels like it's just a big kind of weight on everyone. So just to get me out of the house for a little while, and something seems to always happen, like I'll need to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom that says it's wheelchair accessible, I go in there and I can't get in, or I get stuck in there and I can't get out. It's a bit much, and so I kind of, like, even before COVID, kind of turned into a homebody and just would only go out when I had to. Like, if my daughter had a gaming event, I would go to some of those, but not all of them, like, you know, most moms would go. And I go to my doctor's appointments if I had to. But if I could send somebody else to go pick up my prescriptions, I would do that. And so, you know, I was already kind of like homebound before COVID, and playing the piano and painting. I don't know if you can see all of these, but I like.
Oh, wow. I love that.
I love space. I got some awesome freaking space paintings that I never thought I could ever. I'm not really artistically talented at all. At least I don't think. But I've got some paintings that I've impressed myself doing. Like, I didn't know I could do that. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. I don't want to knock my leg lamp over. See that?
Oh, that's amazing, Noli.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like eyes. I don't know why. I really like eyes, and animal eyes especially. Stay. And I've got some people that I've done too that I'm getting better. Hands and feet are really difficult. Really, really difficult. I get the one will look good. One will always look good. The other one will be like too big or like deformed in some way. But I think my favorites are like my painting space, because you can do it in so many different ways. You can do it on purpose and put everything right where you want it, but it doesn't quite look natural. And if you are haphazard about it, I mean, it can look. Asia, would you grab that one right there? I think that one right there is my favorite. That one. I mean, as far as, do you see that okay?
Yeah.
Like the realisticness of them, by being haphazard and kind of just throwing the paint on there, it looks so much more natural and real. Yeah. And I suppose, you know, the stars must have been thrown up there because if they were all placed exactly just so, they would look really weird.
Yeah. There's beauty in chaos.
I think so. And I am ignoring my chat. I can't. I'm sorry, you guys. Sure. My feet. Hey, it is good to see you. I think so too. Even though I have a hard time looking people in the eyes, I have for probably 10, 12 years now. Just I still carry a lot of shame from other stuff that I did. You know, prison stuff. One hot gal, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a couple of days, I don't think. These are all people from the activist community. They're absolutely amazing people. Even the ones that I disagree with, man, I just know I could hang out with them for days in a row and it would be great. I got, let's see, 3 more songs that I'm going to go ahead and play through. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the invite if anybody wants to come up and get chatty with it. Just come on up, and as soon as I'm done playing a song, I'll come back and check to see if anyone's came in that I can let in. I'm sure there's a few people out there that would like to come up and speak or bitch. Oh, hey, I'm going to be on Schrodinger's Cat Friday, guys. I'm scared to death. Please be there. All those people hate us to the core, and I guess not us. I mean, like, but who they think I might be, they hate that person. They don't know me, and so I know I'm going to be likely got after, and I may need a live feed and some support afterwards. I will, Stephanie. I will. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start another one of the. Oh wait. I guess I need to turn this on. There we go. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Some of you might recognize this. But don't say anything because your age will show. Oh my goodness. My apologies, guys. So I don't know if the person who requested this song is in here or not, but okay, my keyboard keeps hitting stuff. My keyboard keeps hitting stuff on my keyboard. But this song was requested like a week ago, and I tried to play it. It didn't go too well, but no bass notes. You're gonna have to deal with that. Listen to those in your head. Oh, no, no. Hey, I didn't cuss you guys. I just realized. Now I'm going to start swearing. Well, that's about as far as I'm going to go on that one. Because, yeah. And I haven't heard the doorbell, so I'm going to hit up one more. I'm really bad at this one, but I don't know, feel like I need to attempt it, so. Not used to being in this position. It keeps moving. I'm going to fall. Sorry, guys. I'll pick it back up, I promise. Possibly. Of course, I said the whole song, but that's as much as I can do.
I thought that was great, Nolan.
It's really, I'm not in my normal spot because, well, I have painting crap everywhere over there. I was not. I usually just throw my avatar up and just leave it blank, and then that way when people come up, they don't feel obligated to show their face or their surroundings, or it gives people a little bit of anonymity. We have a doxing issue in our crowd. So thank you very, very much. Hot Rod, oh my goodness, how are you? Oh, thanks, buddy. So Hot Rod is actually somebody who is not of the activism crowd. He is actually on the other side. I don't want to say anti-activism, but he does not like to put up with the bullshit that he does see, and it happens a lot. So he's not wrong. from our activists and our cop watchers and our auditors. Some of them are quite aggressive. Some of them just go too far. Some of them honestly make me kind of uncomfortable because instead of auditing, like say a government building and the government workers, they will bother normal citizens who are there handling business. Or, you know, one will run up and be like, don't record me. Well, then they start recording them as soon as they say that because they ran up to them. But, you know, that's the horse shit. And we really don't need to do that because you're going to get our rights taken from us if we keep doing crap like that, because it's up to the voters. So for us, yeah, they're going to be taken, but everybody else is going to give their rights up so that they don't have to put up with our bullshit. Right, Hala? Is that, you know, about right? But he's a lovely person. Oh my goodness. And if it weren't for this community and also trying to just listen better and with a more open mind and just kind of put myself into their shoes and see it from their perspective and be a little more understanding, I think me and Harad have a great relationship. We talk to each other just fine, even when we are in disagreement.
And that is fine. I think people forget nowadays that it is okay to not agree on everything the same, and it is okay to have a discussion, and no one is right, really. None of us are right, because reality doesn't exist, does it? Reality is based on your perception. So whatever's happening in your world, in your reality, isn't necessarily happening in Hot Rod's reality. So you are going to have different opinions. So some people will think society is perfect and there's nothing wrong with it, there's no corruption, blah blah blah, and that's absolutely fine. It just means they haven't experienced it in their reality. Whereas for somebody else who has suffered police brutality or been raped or something, may think that all men are then evil and things like that. Well, to them that is true because that is what is in their reality. And people really need to just chill for a bit now and just say, right, okay, well, it is okay for them not to agree with me because we're living two separate lives here. What we do need to do is actually support each other and play the game to a certain extent and be clever about it. Because like you say, if you keep being violent and being aggressive towards the citizens and the people who are just doing the business, who are the voters, they are going to, in their reality, think that these activists are evil, violent, they lie and all that kind of stuff, because again, that's the perception they're getting because they've only got one side of what's going on. But if you can show that you are respectful and you respect what's happening in their lives, if they're a decent human being, they will retaliate that and treat you how they're being treated themselves.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that, you know, there is a level of respect that is missing within our community, not just with outsiders or with the public, but with each other. And it's sad because we, just like with the cops, they have a lot of bad police officers who are criminals, who are dangerous on one level or another and should not be police. We have auditors and cop watchers and activists who I would not let them anywhere near me. I really wouldn't, especially finding out their criminal past. There's a few things that I think are unforgivable. Physical violence to a woman or a child, and any kind of sex crime. I can't. I don't want. Stay away. I'm sorry. Those are things that I can't personally just be like, oh, you served your time. No, I can't. I just can't. No, that's just me.
Yeah.
But they do make the entire community look bad, and then we have people who are dishonest and people who are manipulative, not just to like the insiders, but to their viewers. They are manipulative to their viewers in a way that is quite disgusting, and it frustrates people because they know somebody's getting used or manipulated into something.
Absolutely.
Astrology, or art astrology said, well, it is a double-edged sword, but the job is to reorient our government from authority-based to service-based. And I just think that is so well said. That is exactly what we need to do. But it's going to take a group effort, which means that we need to not fight with our neighbor, not fight with, our neighbors that are across the continent who have a different opinion than us. We need to find a way to either mend our differences, set them aside, and work together on these bigger issues that are going to affect our children and grandchildren if we don't get it together.
Absolutely. And back to the COVID situation, when we were locked down from March, we call it grassing over here, so snitching, I think what you might call it. So people would ring the police up and report their neighbours for leaving their house more than once a day and little petty things like that. And that behaviour was almost encouraged. So again, it was separating the community out and singling you out on your own. Whereas what should have been happening is you come together as a community and you work together and not grass on each other. I don't understand that at all. You should be working, and even if you do disagree with something, just get on with it. Life's too short to be arguing all the time about petty things. Let's work together and do something with our lives and look after us. There's more of us than there are of them, but there isn't more of us at the moment because we're all so separated and segregated, because we're all so up on his high horse and think we all know right, and we don't. None of us know what's going on. None of us will probably never know the truth. So what we can do is just work together and try and get through life and make it as a community as best we possibly can. And we're here to experience things, not suffer.
Well said. Well said. I agree with that 100%. So, hey, chickens in the peanut gallery, what's going on over there, huh? How come everybody's hiding out? Oh, you know what? I know why. I didn't text Wolfie and I didn't text Stray Dog. I'm gonna have Stray Dog up here probably next week, and Wolfie gladly too. I'm not on the same day, but there's some things that most of us generally do not know about Stray Dog that I think would shock everyone, and I'm going to have him share it with us when he comes on. So I'll leave it at that and let your brains run wild, but don't start no rumors. It is a good thing. It's a positive thing, and it'll be a great live feed for people like Indy to come and join. You know, something that won't embarrass him and shove him underneath the table with his blushing. We have several very religious or spiritual people in our crowd too. Like on all aspects, no matter what direction you go, when it comes to religion or just basic belief system, we have people from all walks of life when it comes to that, and it's cool because you kind of learn a little more than what you were taught in your own home growing up. Because for us here, we're sheltered. We don't see past our own front porch. We can't. And you can put us up in a tower, we still wouldn't be able to see beyond our own front porch because we don't get exposed to outside cultures other than what's already here. Yeah. It's like we're on an island, literally. It's we are sheltered little bitches over here, let me tell you. We know nothing. And I feel sorry for anybody who leaves this country who doesn't at least do some research.
You know we're number one.
Oh, yes. We are number one, and we know things and stuff, right? Yeah. We're number one, and we know things and stuff. Partner over there, that's the other peanut gallery. But let's see. Oh, I agree with that. the end has been just around the corner for a millennia.
Yeah.
I think it's great too.
We look back at history, and the world's ended lots of times through your ice ages and comets hitting. So if we don't kill ourselves, something will. So every day on this planet is a blessing and should be enjoyed, because it literally could end for all of us or any one of us at any time. So what's the point in arguing and fighting with each other? There's so much to this whole universe than just bothering what the Joneses next door are doing, and if they've got a nicer car than you, or they don't believe in the same politics I do, so I'm going to hate them with all my core. Really? Why have you got the energy and time for that? But there's so much stuff to be doing. Why aren't you reading a book or going on an adventure or learning what's out there? It's like, take the blinkers off, guys, and just open up your whole world. There's amazing things happening.
A big problem here in America is so Christians, and I am one. I believe in Jesus. I think God's kind of a dick, but Jesus, he's a rock star. I like him. I'm a big fan. But it's frustrating to see the hypocrisy within my own faith and belief system on every single person that I have ever come across that is of the same faith as me, being hateful, judgmental, or just saying really ugly, horrible things about people who believe in another faith. It's frustrating, and the people here in America, the Christians here in America, are probably, in my opinion, the worst about it.
They're very fundamentalist, aren't they?
They're awful and hateful, and it's like, wait a minute, you're Christian, you're supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? That's not loving anybody.
Exactly.
You don't want them to tell you that your God isn't real, so how dare you do the same thing,
Absolutely.
So I'm a believer in not just accepting the belief system for them, but to truly look into it and allow myself to say, you know what, this coincides with this and this and this from this religion and that religion and that religion. There's got to be some truth here. And I just kind of enjoy the stories. My Hindi religions are amazing. Like anything out of India, so amazing and colorful. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, same here. The history is amazing. And like Sumerians, they talk about their gods and write about their gods like they walked on earth next to him. And that is amazing. I love that. And they was quite adult about their civilization. So they openly talked about sex, and they had really strict rules. So for instance, rape, if you were found to rape somebody, you were put to death. That was that.
I am so down with that. I like that rule. We should start that up over here.
Yeah, and it's just these little like common sense things that the ancient Sumerians had in place where you're like, yeah, it makes sense. And that was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and yet their society seemed to have been better put together than anything we're going through at the minute.
Yeah, the tablets and stuff that have been discovered, their writings and teachings and stuff, the Anunnaki and stuff, it's like 2,000 years older than our Christian Bible. And the stories are so similar.
Yeah, the Great Flood.
I think one religion stole this from that religion, stole that from that religion, stole that from that religion. This person ran away from this tribe, and it all breaks down to the same slightly delusional belief in our history. But there's truth there. There's fossils. There's sea creature fossils that are up on mountaintops.
Exactly. Scientists have proved that the flood actually happened. So, and they wrote about it, like you say. So, Hindu cultures write about it, Sumerian cultures write about it. The earliest forms of writing and even stories passed down, like your American Indians, they talk about the Great Flood. Everyone talks about the Great Flood. It actually happened. So you can't say everything is fantasy in religion or spiritual beliefs. I totally agree with you.
Joel, yeah, you are right. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that we should, as spiritual beings anyway, to have that biblical text or that piece of history available to us from every country, from every corner of the world, that, before you go putting somebody down for believing in something different, why don't you go pick up the religious text and why don't you read it?
100%, totally agree. Because if all you're going on is what you've read in the news or seen on media, yeah, exactly, you are not getting told the truth. If you sit there and you believe that all Muslims are terrorists because that's what your news outlet has told you, then you are living in a really messed up world, because that is not true whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, we have yeah, I get so irritated. I've never met a violent or mean or spirited Muslim ever, not once.
But they will exist.
Of course they do.
Like in Christian culture.
Yeah, in our neck of the woods, they're amazing people, and I haven't met one yet that I don't like. And to hate somebody based on that, or be afraid of them based on this one thing about them, this is one thing. That now, Donald Trump, as soon as he was in office, it was like, nope, no Muslims, sorry.
I mean, how boring. Another thing that I don't understand about racists is if you only want to be surrounded by people that are the same as you, how boring is your life going to be? How incestuous is that situation going to be? It's amazing having different cultures. You can learn so much from somebody else's life and environment and their food and the way they dress and the way they see the world and how they operate as a society. It's good to have different variety. That is the thing we should be doing, not concentrating the gene pool. We need to be mixing it up a bit, thinning it out, getting the good stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Especially with certain special families, who apparently they're all about the incest for generations, even now, still marrying cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
How does that not bother? Like
the royal families, all the royal families have got incest.
They're all connected to their spouses and their babies. And who wants to have a dunkle? I don't know anybody who wants to have a dunkle. A daddy uncle.
Yeah, I totally agree. So my opinion, variety is the key. Variety is the spice of life, as they say, and I think that is very true.
Well, when you say we, Joel, depending on how you look at it now, from my perspective, I believe that God is not only the father of, I guess, good, if that's what you want to call it, but he's also the father of evil, if that's what you want to call it, because nothing happens without his knowledge and consent. And if that is true, then is he not the one in total control and allowing the evil in the world? I think so.
See, to me, evil is just as important as good. Without evil and negativity, there's no positivity. It's yin and yang, it's balance. Without one, you can't have the other. So without good, you can't have evil, because how would you know what's good and evil without the other side to put it against?
Yep,
so
agree.
To me, it's not personification of good and evil, it's energies, it's yin and yang. Both sides are just as important as each other, in my opinion.
Something here. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where does the D go, Joel? Because I can't figure it out. I can't. So what Joel said was Satan has been able to erase the D from his title, but I'm not sure what he means by that. I'm sure it'll make sense as soon as I'll feel like a dumbass.
I think it's a lot easier as well to blame the devil for things. But
yeah, I think that oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, yeah. So instead of using the word Satan, like the devil, the D, I put a D in front of evil and it spells devil. That's where he was going with it, but he forgot I'm easily confused, I guess. But I think, yeah, evil is within us. I think honestly that good and evil, God and Satan, if you will, are a part of us.
Yeah.
Just like we are them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think God is within us, and that energy of good and evil, we go through it. That's what we're here for, is to experience life and learn lessons to evolve spiritually, like Jesus did, like Buddha did, like all the ascended masters. They went through this process, and we're going through that process, and they worked through their good points and their not so good points, and their spiritual attainment was to experience everything, both good and bad, so they could learn not to judge. That is the whole process of a spiritual evolvement through every religion, every spiritual belief. Spiritual evolvement through life lessons, learning and learning not to judge. That is the point of life, to me. That's my opinion.
I feel you. I feel you. These guys, they make me smile. They really do. So, Artsology says the devil made me do it. Will not work in court. In the court of people.
Yeah.
It certainly will not.
Well, it'll get you a straitjacket and a padded cell. So.
Yeah, and those padded cells, I hear that, if you really need a vacation, they're a great place to take off to.
It'd be a really good stress release, wouldn't it? Banging your head against a padded room for a few hours.
Meadowmat says good and evil are constructs of humans to state a point of view.
Yeah, totally agree. But again, Hot Rod, it depends on what you trust.
I'm sorry.
It comes down to perception. So if you trust, like Hot Rod, depends on what you trust. Yeah, but it's not trust, is it? It's your perception and how you're viewing your own reality at that time.
Yep. And like, I don't know. I've had this discussion with my people before, but like I've experienced 2 near-death experiences where my heart stopped, and one when I was a kid, one as an adult, and the sensations that I remember and the emotion that I remember. Well, the typical like NDE story where somebody sees a bright light in the tunnel, and there was none of that. There was none of that. And so I guess because of those experiences, and looking into the beliefs of others outside of Christianity, I have kind of my own twisted view, I guess, of the afterlife and what I'm willing to accept as far as, good and evil and God and Satan, and what I'm willing to believe and accept out of the Bible. I mean, dude, it's been censored and like altered and translated and retranslated, and
monks' opinions on what happened.
Huh?
Monks' opinions on what happened rather than what actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. And even just like a retelling of a retelling of a retelling of a retelling. I mean, how I can't trust everything in the Bible. I can only trust what I need to trust. Like the stories of Jesus, I think he was a badass. I think he was a rebel, and he knew how to live and he knew how to love. And so I'm down with that, and I dig that. And so that's where I try to keep my I want to be like that kind of attitude or outlook in life. I want to be like that because God's kind of a narcissistic, scary bastard. And I think his son is just way cooler, and that's kind of where I take that, and I just kind of leave it anymore. I don't even attend church anymore, just due to the fact that the people there don't feel very godly to me.
Yeah. And if you, when you study the mind and you study language and language patterns, you do pick up on a lot of scary things that people are actually saying to people, like cult leaders. That is the biggest obvious one. If you listen to what cult leaders say and how they say it, it's scary. So even like reading the Bible, the language they use is fear-based language. The wrath of God will punish you if you do this. There is a hell that you will go to if you don't obey the sins. Whereas that was written to control people. So you have to take everything with a pinch of salt and go, this was written like this in this language for a reason. So you do not have sex before marriage. You do have children in marriage, so you are controlled. Women are evil, they're disgusting, they brought the first sin onto man, bullshit, all that kind of stuff. So women are the second class citizens as well, so they're easy to control. So you have to really research language patterns, and then read these things again, and you go, oh yeah, this is actually a piece of propaganda with beautiful metaphorical stories sprinkled in it. And that's the same for most religious texts.
Amigo Max, I agree with you 100%. TV preachers are all of them. They are cult leaders.
Yeah.
That Joel Osteen, he is an evil, wicked man. He is a bad human being. During a hurricane, turning people away from a church that was dry inside. I mean, whoa, dude, you have a super church and you are like a bazillionaire, and you're going to tell people who are running for their lives from a hurricane to piss off? No, it's not okay. It's depressing, and I think that's another, man uses that book and religion to oppress people and to use people and to use fear-based. Yes, Olstein is evil. Uh-oh. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. And mind you, my first husband was Catholic, so I was kind of thrust into Catholicism for a while, and it was during the 90s, so bad thing during that time. I didn't want to go to mass with him ever. No, they are rapists, and no, they hurt children. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Those people are protected in the same way that cops and politicians are protected, and they protect each other, and they're like untouchable.
Yeah. It's one good thing about Henry VIII is, thank God he did abolish Catholicism and turn Protestant. You imagine how super powerful they would have been to this day.
Oh my God, right? So many people died for that. It's amazing.
I know.
Religion, the main reason we have so many wars. Religion and greed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I like, I'll take the Jesus part because it's awesome, and that was truly a good human being.
Absolutely.
And the rest of it, I kind of just, I have to set aside. Like with AA or NA, you take what you can use, and you just leave the rest behind.
Yeah, and I think that should be true for everybody. Should do that. Make things work for you, and research and gain knowledge and figure things out for yourself, and don't let yourself be drip fed and brainwashed into something that isn't actually healthy or beneficial to anybody. It just causes more pain and suffering and guilt. You are made to suffer guilt all your life, thinking you're not good enough and you should suffer because you're not a good person, where you're just doing your best. You're only making the right decisions you can at the time. So we all make mistakes. Why should I go to hell the rest of my life for it? You know, well, I mean, for all eternity. What? This is Naomi.
Hot Rod, the ones telling the story, the ones who write the stories are usually the winners of the war, and typically they lie. Look at how we've been lied to just about our recent history, just the past 400 years or so. Half the shit I know today, I was never taught in school. I was actually taught the opposite in school. And it's like having to get an education from kindergarten up all over again.
Yeah, I found the same.
Is it the same over there? Like they as far as history, teaching children history in school, is it kind of twisted and like, why?
It's brainwashing, isn't it?
It is. It's 100% indoctrination, no matter how you look at it, to get you to comply.
Yeah, they put those blinkers on from when you're a child, and they don't want you to ever take those blinkers off.
It's really shitty. I don't raise my daughters that way, thank God. They have their own minds, and they, as sweet as my youngest one is, and she is really sweet. She's 17, and she's like really sweet. She makes up her own mind. And you cannot tell her anything about when it comes to religion or what is right and what is wrong for her or for others, and who she should be friends with or not friends with. She's of her own mind. She will make up her own mind, and she will tell you, no, you're being an ass.
Good on her.
I'm proud of her for it, because she's made a lot of really smart decisions. At only 17. I mean, she works 2 jobs. She goes to school.
Oh, bless her.
She's involved in rodeo gaming and also equestrian drill team.
Wow.
She just bought a new horse like a few weeks ago. We call it a dog, and it followed her home one day.
Oh.
It's like horse number 5. Ridiculous.
Oh.
Well, she gave it to her friend who has been part of the family and living in the home since they were 7 or 8 years old. Her parents just aren't there. But she said, I knew Dad would never ever buy her a horse. I got to think that I had enough, and I'm going to go away to college. So I gave it to Cheyenne. And I was just like, oh my God, I love you. She bought that horse with her own money.
Oh.
And she's just so sweet, especially since Cheyenne ain't got a job and she's going to have to buy the food for that thing anyway. But she's just a beautiful kid. She's got such a big heart. I'm proud of her.
Aww.
Going on about her. We've been on here forever. It is now 1 o'clock my time, so it is going to be what, 9, 10 yours?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late.
So, all right, guys. Well, we are going to head off here. I will catch you in either one of your live feeds or someone else's.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great talking to you, Noli. I've genuinely enjoyed it.
Me too. It's been nice to see another human face.
Me too.